Hi guys, today we are creating our Beads of Courage adjustable bangle bracelet featuring our Beads of Courage beads, and we're going to be using the artistic wire adjustable bangle bracelet jig. Let's get started. Cut yourself about 14 inches of 14 gauge wire, and you want to place the wire between the acrylic circle and the peg on the outside edge towards your right of the jig. You want to give yourself about a 2-inch tail. Take the tail end of that wire and bend it upwards to attach your wire to your jig. Now you want to guide the wire around the outer edge of the large oval shape on your findings form. Guide the wire all the way around. It may be easier to turn the jig. Guide the wire between the outside peg and the acrylic peg all the way around to the peg on the opposite side, and bend that wire upwards just like the first wire so that you have a hook on either side. Using your cutter tool, you want to trim off both ends of your wire, leaving enough wire that you can create a hook that can hook on to the wire once it is removed from the jig. Remove the wire from the jig, and now you're ready to create your bracelet. Using bent chain nose pliers, grab one of the hooks like it is shown here, holding the wire in the jaw of the pliers, and then you want to bend the wire 90 degrees this direction. Flip the bracelet over in your hand and grab the other hook with the bent chain nose pliers and repeat the steps. Using the 2 hooks that you created with your bent chain nose pliers, you want to hook the 2 ends of the wire together. Using chain nose pliers, you want to gently squeeze your loops so that they are closed on both sides. Now your bangle bracelet is complete, and you can open and close to adjust the size to fit your wrist. Now we're going to add our fairy silk to our adjustable bangle bracelet. Cut 36 inches of 22 gauge wire, and you want to take a small tail, give yourself about 2 inches, and you want to wire wrap that on just with 2 or 3 wire wraps to the outside portion of our adjustable bangle bracelet. You want this to be on the outside edge of the portion of the bracelet that is adjustable. Once you have your 22 gauge wire anchored onto your adjustable bangle bracelet, you want to bring in your fairy silk, and you want to take the very end of your fairy silk and lay it against the edge of your adjustable bangle bracelet, and use your 22 gauge wire to loop around or to wire wrap around at least twice the very end of your fairy silk to attach your fairy silk to the bracelet. Once you have anchored your fairy silk to your bangle bracelet, now you can ignore the long piece of wire here for a few minutes, and you just want to focus on wrapping your fairy silk around the bangle portion of your bracelet. Once you've made it all the way around your bangle bracelet, you want to take your fairy silk and go back the other direction, wrapping across the wraps that you have already created. Once you have wrapped the entire portion of your bangle and used up all of your fairy silk, now you want to take your 22 gauge wire that is attached to your bracelet, and you want to wire wrap across the surface of your fairy silk, going along the length, wrapping in wide sections. Think like the stripes of a candy cane. Once you have wrapped your wire all the way around one time and made your way to the end, you want to take the tail end of your wire, and now you want to add small beads to the wire and wrap the wire back the other direction, back to the other side. To add beads to your bracelet, add a bead to the wire and bring it down to the surface of the bracelet. Lay the bead on the outer edge of the bracelet where you want it, and then take the wire and wrap around one time to secure that bead into place. And before you make the next wrap, add another bead. Continue this all the way around until you have added all the beads that you want to the outside edge of your bangle bracelet. Now it is time to add our Beads of Courage beads to our bracelet. We're going to add those to the adjustable section of the bracelet, and we're going to create knotted head pins to create wrapped loops on the ends of our Beads of Courage beads. Cut a 4 to 5 inch piece of 22 gauge wire and grab the wire with the very tip of your round nose pliers right at the tip of the wire, and you want to roll the wire around the tip of the pliers one complete time, and then a second time directly underneath the first wraparound that you made, and you want to stop where you see the flush cut of the wire. Before you remove the wire from the tool, you want to take the wire and bend it out this direction. When you remove the wire from the pliers, you want to take the tail end of the wire and tuck it through the 2 loops that you created on the pliers. Now you want to come in with your nylon jaw pliers and grab that wire right where the 2 loops that you created are, so that they are laying right up against the side of the nylon jaw pliers. You want to take a second pair of pliers and pull the tail all the way so that it's nice and tight, and you have created this rosette shape at the bottom of the wire. Now you want to thread on your Beads of Courage bead, but you may want to thread on a smaller bead at the bottom and at the top, because the Beads of Courage beads have a little bit larger of a hole. So this is going to keep your bead from slipping off of your head pin. Using chain nose pliers, grab the wire right as it is exiting the top of the bead and bend the wire 90 degrees. Come in with your round nose pliers, grabbing the wire so that it is running between the barrel of the pliers. Guide the wire up and over to create a wrapped loop. Adjust the grip and guide the wire all the way around to the other side. Switch hands and take the tail end of the wire and wire wrap between the loop and the top of the bead about 3 times and trim off the tail with your cutter tool. You want to repeat these steps so that both of your Beads of Courage beads have wrapped loops on both ends. And now you want to use some chain nose pliers and 6mm jump rings to attach your Beads of Courage beads, as well as the Team Beads of Courage charm, to the adjustable portion of your bracelet. Once you have added your Beads of Courage beads and your charm to your bracelet is complete. You can also add other charms and other bead dangles to your bracelet as well to add a little extra sparkle and fun.